World of Tanks channel. I just got to start with an apology. I've already finished the review and I'm getting ready to post it, and I was listening through and realized that there was a problem with the audio. So you should be able to hear everything, but it's not the normal quality of what you're hearing now is usually what my videos sound like. And so I just apologize once again. I had an issue with the microphone and it was using the onboard mic rather than my good mic. I have no idea why the settings changed. I've been using this setup for, almost a year now, and for whatever reason, it just decided to change itself. So anyway, enjoy the review, and I apologize. The next time you see us, we will be back and operating as normal. Enjoy the review. Bye. All right. So, little rant. I bought this tank that was never going to be offered again, and only offered once. Well, never going to be offered again is debatable. But they made it sound like it was going to be an exclusive. And since offering this quote-unquote exclusive, it's been on sale like 17 times since then. So once again, this weekend, the KV-220 is on sale. Now, it has been a while. I think the last time they did it was around New Year's. So it's been a couple months. But once again, this tank is for sale. And for those of us that bought it early and spent a lot of money on it, it's a little aggravating that they would keep offering this thing, but whatever, it's their game. So what was a rare tank pretty much not going to be so rare anymore because everybody's going to have one. So the KV-220, first of all, I have a cold. I apologize. I guess that would be second of all because we already started talking. But I've had a cold this week and it's gone into my throat and there's nothing I can do about it, so you're going to have to be all grizzly with me as we go through this. Yeah, so when I first got this tank, it was very quickly my favorite tank. I'm going to say it has not aged well. A lot of people that play a lot know its weak spots, and now that you're watching this video, you too are going to know the two most glaring weak spots are right here and right here. This is the standard stock KV-1 turret mounted on what I believe is a KV-3 chassis or something similar to it. So you have 100 hit points of armor on the front and 100 on the side, and if you angle like so or like so, you're going to be pretty hard to damage anywhere down here. Most of the tanks that you go against, and since this has preferential matchmaking, you're only ever going to see tiers 5 and 6. Most tier 5 tanks are not going to be able to penetrate this hull easily. Now, the smart player is going to aim for the turret. It says the turret is 90, but in actuality, these portions, I believe, are either 70 or 80, but it's very low. So somebody who knows where to hit you is going to go right for your soft spots. It doesn't happen all the time. In fact, a lot of the players you run against don't know to hit you there, but I found, as I've been playing the tank more often, that it is getting to the point where there are frequently at least one person per map who knows where to shoot the KV-220. So it's no longer the big threat that it was. But the armor is what makes this tank. It's certainly not the gun. And why do I say that? Because it is a tier 5 gun with 99 penetration. It fires once every 3.5 or so seconds, and it does 110 damage. So it's fairly fast firing, though not real fast firing. And it has really crappy penetration. In fact, you have to fire gold ammo to penetrate most tier 5 heavy tanks, unless you can weak spot them. And you do get occasion with this tank because it is tough and people don't necessarily know where to shoot it. You are sometimes given that opportunity to sit there and peck away at your opponent, and they have no idea how to counter what you're doing to them. So that's good. 2 tips about this tank that I'm going to give you. One, stay in motion. You can stop for a second to aim and fire, but once you've fired, start rocking back and forth until you have completed your reload, and then you can stop again and fire, because the people that know to shoot this, that's a small little spot. And if I can keep the tank wiggling, it's going to be a lot harder for them to hit those spots. So they're not going to be able to sit still and aim it. So keep the tank rocking back and forth or moving back and forth. Usually I rock forward and backwards with the tank. And that helps you bounce a lot more shots. But you can stop when you aim, but you're vulnerable when that happens. Also know that obviously the side and back of the turret is a big weak spot on this tank. The back of the hull is not too bad with 80 armor. If it's angled, they're going to have difficulty. Plus, you got a lot of rounded edges. So, is it penetrable? Yes. Should you keep it away from your opponents? Yes. But it's not the end of the world if you get circled. You're not. A lot of the smaller tier 4 and tier 3 tanks that you're going to run against will not be able to penetrate the back of your tank either. So, this tank does provide an awful lot of fun. So, oh, and the second thing that I wanted to advise you of is this. The crew is everything. If you put a 75% crew in here for training, this tank sucks. I was surprised. And when I first got my KV-2, I started putting the crew in here, and I had a really hard time with this tank. All of a sudden, my win rate started going down. It became not as much fun to play. A good crew, this tank is very dependent on a good crew. And one of the things that you must have, of course, is the clutch braking. And off-road driving also helps to keep things moving along. Snapshot's a good idea because you've got it back and forth. And, you know, so those are things that kind of help this tank. But definitely, you know, any heavy tank, your clutch braking is a big help so that you can whip the front of the tank around and get yourself protected. But I was honestly surprised at what a difference a crappy crew made versus a good crew. So right now I'm going to be running my good crew from my IS-3. As it is a fairly, as they are a fairly skilled crew, and we'll be able to run this tank well. Some of the things I like about this tank, first of all, obviously the armor is ridiculously silly. Secondly, it does seem to see tier 5 a lot, though. With this new month-long mission, everybody's going to be trying to get the T-34. It's probably going to get sucked up into tier 6 battles more, but in that it does struggle on tier 6. It is not a great tank on tier 6. It can be, but things have to be just right. If you meet the wrong tank, let's say like a KV-1S, you're going to have a difficult time because he's going to be faster than you. You're only going to do little damage to him, and he's going to tear you up pretty quick. So, you know, on tier 6 it's not so much fun, but you seem to, you know, in general get a lot of tier 5 battles. The earning potential of this tank is pretty good. I generally walk away with between 25 to 35,000 credits, non-premium. If I am premium, it runs somewhere between 45 and 60,000 credits, which is not bad for your tier 5 tank. In fact, it seems out of all of the tanks that I have that this on tier 5 is my top earner. And I have all of the tier 5 premium tanks except for the new SU-85i. So this is my highest earning tier 5 premium tank. And it also probably is my highest win rate, though T-25 might also have that tied. So as far as equipment, I have chosen to run the Spaliner because artillery loves to hit you. They see a unique tank and right away they're aiming for you. Plus, you're usually the top tank on, you know, or one of the top tanks in the matchmaking. So oftentimes that is also a consideration. They go after the top tanks first. Gun rammer, obviously, to get your gun firing faster. The aim time isn't too bad on this tank, so you don't have to have a gun rammer. And I also chose the tracks because, once again, I found in my experience that the artillery likes to go after this tank. So keeping those tracks firm and strong helps them resist getting hit by artillery and getting blown off, which, of course, makes you even more vulnerable. So motion is what this tank is about, staying in motion and staying ahead of the artillery, and also keeping away from the guys that know where to shoot you. That's how you play this tank. So we're going to go ahead and run a couple battles. Let's go through the stats real quick first. 690 hit points. That's kind of on par with other tier 5s. In fact, let's look at the Churchill 3. 700. You got a little bit more armor there. Let's look at the Excelsior. 670. Yes, that's right between them. Top speed 33. It's not bad. It's not fast. Once again, the Churchill's going to be slower with a 28 kilometers per hour, and the Excelsior is going to be faster with 38.6. In fact, I like the Excelsior because of its speed. It has better frontal armor, but it's flat, so it's easy to penetrate. Pardon me, saying and coughing a lot. The standard shell damage, once again, it's pretty average for a tier 5 premium tank, about 120 damage per hit. Not bad, not great, but it's sufficient. However, and once again, we're back down to that 99 penetration. It's pretty low. It's not a very happy number. You are going to bounce a decent amount of shots. You're going to have to really try to aim for weak spots, and that's just how it goes. You get used to it. That's how it is. So, rate of fire 14, so every 3.5 or so seconds. We said that already. Slow turret traverse 22, and slow traverse speed 20. It's a heavy tank. Having the clutch braking once again helps relieve that. 310 range, view range, not so good, and 360 signal range, that is also not so good. Gun depression. The gun depression on this tank is not bad. In fact, I'm going to check the stat here and let you know. Okay, so the elevation arcs from -8 up to +24. -8. You know, that's not bad, honestly. 10 is really good. 8's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's you know, kind of average. So you can do some gun depression with this tank, and that helps a little bit. Maybe you can hold down a little bit, though. Honestly, you probably, if you're in a Tier 5 battle, you don't really have to hold down, because the obvious reason is that you want them to shoot at this. You don't want them to shoot at this. So if you have this exposed, they're going to take shots at that. If you get your body exposed, they're going to be more apt to fire at this part of your tank because it's easier to hit, and they're going to bounce. So keep that in mind. You may want to play a little differently than you normally would with a heavy tank, and you want to expose your body so that people aim at that rather than aiming at the turret. I don't know how great advice that is, but it would make sense that you want them to hit the better armored portion of the tank where it's going to be a more likely bounce. And one more thing I wanted to comment on as we go to look at my service record with it. If you look at the wiki says that this tank sees Tier 7. I want to tell you that that is not the truth. It does not. I have never once been in a Tier 7 battle in this tank, and I have 181 battles in it. It does not see Tier 7. That is a mistake on the wiki. Here you can see I have 181 battles in this tank. And with that number, I have a 64% win rate. My average experience is 744 per battle. That's 200 over tier. So usually I'm happy if I get an average of, like here's my T44, and this is really bad. I'm averaging 563 experience in a tier 8 tank. I should be averaging like 700 to 800. In my T32 tier 8, I was averaging 800. That makes me happy. If I can get into a tier 5 tank and average 700 experience rather than 500, I'm very happy. So this tank generates a lot of experience, especially at tier 5, and it is a winner. It does help you to win. It's not always your fault that you win. Does that sound right? But oftentimes, especially when you're the top tank, you can turn the tide of battle. And if you play smart, you will win a lot with this tank. 72% hit rate. I think that's kind of interesting. That's a high hit ratio. It's because it's a fast, somewhat accurate gun, which is different than most Russian guns. And I have an average of, let's see, about 1.5 tanks destroyed per battle, maximum destroyed 8. And the reason for that is because you're a pecky tank, so you're pecking things to death. Usually you get them down and then somebody else kills them. And that is a very common thing to happen in this tank. But I feel like I come out of most battles with 2 or 3 kills, so let's go ahead and run this bad boy. I know you've been waiting patiently. Let's go. And so right away we are thrown into the regular tiering for this tank. And like I said, you're almost always in the top 3, so, or top tank, you know, which in this case, all these heavies are top tank. So, oh, we get to go against the BDR. I can punch holes in that dude, hopefully. So I'm going to push up the hill. You can see here just how slow this thing moves, and that's because of all the armor. It is not a spry tank, but to be honest with you, it keeps pace with the Churchill. It's actually a little bit faster than the Churchill 3, so we can handle it. The hope is that all the heavies come up the hill, and it looks like so far they are. I apologize if you hear clicking noises. First of all, my washing machine is running, and secondly, I am sucking on a cough drop because I will cough very loudly if I don't have one. Alright, so up the hill we go. Is anybody sick of Himmelsdorf yet? Because I know that I am. Though the winter one I like the way it looks, but Got a lot of shenanigans going on here. I think I'm going to push because all that went this way was... Whoops. Awesome. That BDR's got a good gun. He's got a lot of penetration. He's gonna... Oh, and he bounced. Look at that. If he angles right, he's gonna be hard to penetrate. Look at him. Look at these guys. They all went around, man. It was an interesting maneuver on their part, but I'm trying to angle a little bit and... Oh, got him on fire. He did damage me, though. Okay, this is not good. The BDR, of course, has a really good gun, so he did a decent amount of damage. Yeah, I'm having a hard time with that BDR. I'm surprised, actually. And I'm not following my own rules. Not moving. But I felt like it was worth getting that artillery. He did track me. So here we are, stuck. Yep. Oh, my tracks are fixed. I'm going to move up. And I'm going to keep angled. Yeah, and the artillery is the only one that's going to damage me. He's got some time to reload. I'm going to try to take this dude out. Ah, I got to watch that artillery. Okay, and I'm going to back out because when that artillery comes back up, he's going to definitely try for me, and I am not going to give him the opportunity. Ah, stinking artillery. I guess I am going to give him that opportunity. Man, our team is... What are they doing? Ah. There's one hit. Alright, I'm pushing across now. And we're going to take that artillery out now because I'm done screwing around with that dude. He could kill me. There we go. I don't have a lot of health left. But we got it. Muscled our way to... Panzer IV, he's got some pretty good armor there. We'll let these guys with more health go for it. The M4's got a lot of armor. Oh, M4, sorry. Thought he was going to go around, and he stopped on me. No brakes. No brakes. Have to go the long way now. Now we got this wrapped up. Oh, he's still got a full health KV-1. I don't think I'll make the rest of the battle. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I'll get there in time, but I have a feeling they're going to kill all these guys before I can even get in range. But as you can see there, you know, that is a typical battle for this tank. You can kind of bully your way through. The artillery was really the only one that was hitting me, and I'm thankful that I had that spall liner, because once again, it does reduce non-penetrating hits, and I think if they penetrate, it doesn't make a difference. But the non-penetrating hits, they are going to have a difficult time getting through, so it just ends up breaking your tracks. He might have been using gold ammo. I'm surprised at the times he was able to penetrate through my tank. Wow, those guys are wiping him out. Whoa! Rats! And our Panzer IV says bye-bye. There you go. Somehow I got high caliber. I'm not sure how that happened. Take a look at the team score. Yeah, I performed to my abilities. Outdid my average experience at 904. Had 2 kills. And 1,189 damage to get the high caliber medal. And I also, of course, got a steel wall. Second class mastery badge, which I already have the ace badge for this one, but you know, they give you it every time and whatever. So, not a great take home. I could have done more damage, but with premium that would have been a 44,000. Remember I said 45 was the base. 25 non-premium up to 40 non-premium. So there you go. Those are the numbers that I was talking about. So, good thing. Let's go ahead and run another battle. And here's another battle that is a good battle for this tank because of the map. It's got a heavy choke point, which this tank will excel in, because that T-14 up there on the other side, he will probably not be able to penetrate the front of my tank, even if he uses ammo, gold ammo, and hits me in the soft spot. He's going to have a hard time. I'm most afraid of the artillery, as in the last battle. For those of you who are new to my channel, these battles are live. They're filmed, obviously not live while you're watching it, but I am not commentating over a replay or picking the best games that I had. I do have a section in my channel called The Luckies, where those are games of skill and luck, but and they're replays. But in this case, this is an actual battle that you're seeing taking place while I'm sitting here at the microphone. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how things are going to turn out. It might be good. It might be bad. Unless a battle is really, really bad, I tend to keep it. If I run out and just die in the first minute, I usually don't keep those. But in general, I try to keep all the battles so that you can see the good, the bad, and the ugly. But like I said before, with this tank, usually it's just good, you know? So, pardon me. So I'm going to go ahead and go over to where the heavies go. It looks like I'm the only one. I'm not too afraid of that, though, at this point. I'm hoping that I can get a little help. I've already read Lost. It's a blue something or other. We got a scout out there. We got 2 scouts out there. Hopefully our guys are going to kill them, because that means that when I go down here, I'm probably going to be spotted. But if I can get across, you know, hopefully that will... Nobody's coming with me. Look at this. What a team. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I don't run against like 8 tanks. Hopefully it'll be 1 other tank or 2 other tanks over here. And hopefully they'll kill that artillery. Come on, guys. Get out there. Oh boy. Yep. They're both of their big ones. So here I'm going to keep moving. The T-14 I will not be able to penetrate. I need to get where I'm safe. I'm going to do a little side scrape in here. I don't understand how they're still hitting me. Yeah, I won't be able to penetrate his turret. Could use some help, but I don't think I'm going to get it. And I am stuck. These guys are backing out. Oh, man. Come on. Are you kidding? I can't go over that little lip. I don't want to get caught out, but I do want to get across. Come on! This is the horsepower problem. When you have a slow tank, obviously, sometimes you run into these kind of issues, and if I was using premium consumables, like the little gas would probably help there. These guys have decided to leave this portion wide open. That's a bad move on his part. So up we go. And I am coming against no resistance here, so... I don't know what this guy was thinking. Of course, I'm not quite sure what our team is thinking either. They're not doing so hot. They seem to be like sitting up there and dying. This guy's probably panicking. Here's the awesome gun depression. Most Russian tanks would not be able to do this. I'm going to keep moving. Yeah, see, if you stay moving, he will not be able to penetrate me. Oh, luck. And I won't penetrate the next shot. How much you want to bet it bounces? How much? Oh, it didn't. Yay. And this guy, he's done for, man. Goodbye. Oh, I gotta hit his butt. I gotta hit the butt. He's... Wow, this guy's must have bought a premium tank and has like 20 battles. Oh, that could have been bad. I'm gonna roll across, get safe. Oh, the Wolverine. Now, the Wolverine can be a dangerous animal for this tank because he's got some claws. And on top of that, if I go out here, I'm exposed to this ridge. And how much do you want to bet they got something sitting over there? You know, I don't know about exactly what's sitting over, but oh my gosh. And still, our team completely is, oh, except for that. That was beautiful. Okay, so we're going to push across. Is he dangerous? No. Never going to get it done with this gun. It's too far. I'm just going to move up. Jug, 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 jug. Yeah, I love this tank. I'm telling you, man. This is like happiness place for me. Should I fire gold at him? Yeah. Yeah, you just keep shooting at me. Whatever. I'm coming your way, buddy. The whole team is coming your way now. Oh, he did some damage. At least he's aggressive and fighting and trying. Oh, that Modder, what did he do? Nothing. All right, I'll be there in half an hour. The M81 probably is going to sneak around the back, I would imagine. But they're done for. And once again, I don't want to say this tank saved the day, but you know, it just pushes when it needs to push, and I've still got almost full health. And none of these guys can do anything to me. You know, he's probably using HE at this point because he did like 4 damage. Aww. You know, toolbox might not be a bad idea for this tank either, in place of the tracks, because you know you still get tracked. Once they break once, then they continue to break. So a toolbox might be a good idea, or maybe like a high-end tool kit. But that's what people are going to go for, because your hull is strong. They're going to go for your tracks. Try to take your feeties off. I'm feeling like this dude is back here. Wouldn't you be? And with my miserable view range, and I don't have XVM loaded on this computer, so I don't know on the map where everybody is, but I can only assume that these dudes are somebody. Yeah, there he is. I knew it. Whoops. Yeah. And like I said, so I didn't get the kill. I did a lot of damage to him, but I didn't get the kill. And that is typical of this tank. You're not going to get a ton of kills because a lot of times you're just doing damaging shots and somebody else is going to get that final hit. Because it takes you a while to kill something. Look at these guys running away from this artillery. This is classic. He's got everybody on the run. Are you kidding me? Beautiful. And so a second battle where I get steel wall. Did I say that this thing gets steel wall a lot? 791, once again above my average. Top scorer on the team once again. Top damager on the team also once again. You know, made 42,000 credits because I got some kind of mission completed. Wow. But really, the actual score was 25,000, so 26,000. So, yeah, what's not to like, you know? And unfortunately, for me, this is not going to be an exclusive tank, because you just watched this review and now you are going out and you're spending $35 and buying this tank, because if you can afford it, you should have this tank in your garage. Once again, if you're new to the game, sort of, this is a good way to start. Not an easy tank to play to start with, but down the road you'll be happy you have this. And once again, I use it to train my crews. So as you can see, I have no crew in my IS-3. They are all running the KV-220, plus my radio guy from the Churchill 3. So you use it to, you know, train crews, obviously. But at $33 or $34, I think is what they were asking for this. That's the cheapest it's been. I mean, the other time it was $50, the last couple times they've offered it. So this is the lowest price that they're offering right now. Now, the other tank worth note is the PZB-2. I think they've also got a Tetrarch kit. The Tetrarch's a pretty cool tank. The PZB-2 is cool because it is the B1 tank, except for it only sees tier 4, where this tank can go up to tier 6 and is completely useless. However, the PZB-2 is a collector's tank, and just so you know, you're going to have to fire gold if you're going to do any damage. Otherwise, you're just going to bounce shots. So the PZB-2 is a cool tank, but it doesn't, you know, like this tank, it's going to have difficulty penetrating stuff. But as you saw, both of those rounds, I didn't fire a single round of gold. I was able to destroy my opponents. I did run against some pretty bad players. I also ran against some good ones, though, too. And I stayed alive and killed them. So I think out of all the deals that are going on this weekend, this is the coolest for sure. And this is definitely a thumbs up for me. And I really love this tank. So I hope you guys have a great night. And I hope to hear from you soon. Bye. Oh, yeah. You know what? Subscribe.